is in there for a called strike. Sowers comes in his last 2 starts. He's pitched 11 innings. He's allowed 3 earned runs. He's walked 7, struck out 8.
Well, he was a little more aggressive and really trying to pound that strike zone, not nibble. They were telling him to go after the hitters. Let's go. Get aggressive. And he was much better against the White Sox. He did throw 92 pitches in his last start, and that covered 6 innings, as I told you.
Missed inside with that pitch, 2-1. DeJesus has had his troubles this year against left-handed pitching, where he is batting just .169. Fouls that out of play, and the count evens at 2-2. On this Royals road trip, DeJesus has 6 hits and 26 at bats. It's been a rough roadie for Kansas City. Last night's win was a welcome one for Kansas City, just their second on this 9-game trip. Big bouncer to short. Peralta with the backhand play takes care of DeJesus, 1 away. Tonight's injury report brought to you by the law firm of Nuremberg Paris, Ohio's injury lawyers since 1928. Call 1-800-399-2300. Sizable list for the Indians, but there is good news on the horizon. Guys are working through the rehab and getting close to coming back, like Aaron Laffey, who told me that he's getting ready for a simulated game, which he will throw in the bullpen. And he said if all goes well, he's hoping to get out on a rehab assignment in the very near future. Sowers delivers a pitch down low to Coco Crisp. Also talked to Rafael Betancourt, who was working on some hydrotherapy today, where he was running on the treadmill, which is in the hydro pool. Bouncer to third. DeRosa in on the grass, makes the play, 2 down. And Betancourt told me he's hoping that he'll be able to get back before the All-Star break.
Well, that would be good news too. I'd like to get everybody back healthy and have them there for a while.
And of course, we've talked about Jake Westbrook, who's also on the comeback trail. He's progressing nicely. Billy Butler steps in with 2 down and the bases empty, riding a 6-game hitting streak. And he takes a first pitch strike. Indians have limited him to a hit in each of the first 2 games. And it's quickly 0-2. Butler, right-handed hitter, deep in the box. Got that back foot anchored on the back line. And he looks at a fastball up high. The key for Sowers, as Rick said, be aggressive. Try to limit the walks, the free passes. That missed just off the outside edge.
Nice changeup. Well, when you go through the rotation, you watch Cliff Lee pitch, you watch Pavano pitch, and you're following those guys, and you watch them go strike 1, strike 2, and guys swing the bat. You should want to do the same thing.
That pitch fouled back.
I mean, you change speeds, you pound the strike zone, and eventually, you're going to find out where you stay out of the middle of play. Last night, Pavano had a bad start. There's no 2 ways about it. He had the middle of the plate, even though he was ahead in the count 0-2. Kansas City did a good job. Every once in a while, you got to give credit where credit is due. But he made mistakes, and they hit him out of the ballpark last night.
2-2, bounce to short. Peralta waits back on it and throws him out. And a good first inning for Sowers. 3 ground ball outs. Royals go 1-2-3. Now Ben Francisco will try to jumpstart the Indians' offense when we come back. to you by Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Ben Francisco, Mark DeRosa, and Victor Martinez at the top. Shin-Soo Choo batting cleanup, has good numbers against Greinke. Then Johnny Peralta and Ryan Garco. And the bottom third is Jimenez, Valbuena, and Crow. Francisco 2 for 9 in the series. And that accounts for half of his hits in his last 25 at-bats.
Well, here's a guy, I don't care if you're left-handed or right-handed, you don't like him to get ahead of you because he has one of the best sliders going in baseball today. I mean, most of the time when he throws it, it's out of the zone, but you end up swinging at it because it has such late break. Well, and I mean, that's how he piles up all his strikeouts.
Well, we also had a chance, Tommy Bowe showed us some of the numbers before the ball game. It's amazing that with Greinke, it doesn't matter if he's ahead in the count or if he falls behind in the count.
2-0,
nobody
3-0,
gets
3-1.
hits off this guy. Not this year, anyway.
Well, he's given up 71 hits in his 87 innings, but he has 91 strikeouts. And, I mean, he's a guy that goes out there and he's thrown 100-plus pitches in 11 of his 12 starts. He averages under 15 pitches per inning, and that's not many considering he's a strikeout pitcher.
What the Indians will try to do is try to make him throw as many pitches as possible.
And they do a good job at that.
He went to a full count on Francisco, but this is a shallow pop to right for out number one.
Let's set the Royals defense behind Greinke tonight. It's DeJesus in left, Crisp in center, Guillen is in right. Bloomquist making his third different start in this series. He's at third, Pena Jr. at short, Callaspo at second, Butler at first, and Olivo behind the plate. Zach Greinke, 8-2 this year, the league-leading 1.55 ERA, 5 complete games. You look at the numbers, and they just continue to dazzle you. And he's coming off a very rough start, his worst start of the year against Toronto, where he only went 5 innings, gave up 9 hits, that's a season high, but gave up his first 2 home runs in that ball game of the year.
Good breaking ball right there.
That ended a string of 111 innings where he had not allowed a home run.
A tough night to hit one out with the wind blowing in here this evening. And the air seems to be very heavy with all the fog.
It's a weird day, man. This is, it's just soaked in. It looks like it's going to rain, but the tarp's been away for hours.
Well, when we arrived here today about 4 o'clock, it was humid. It was warm, but it's definitely cooled down here at game time. DeRosa lines one into left field, a base hit. And the Indians have their first hit with 1 out here in the first inning. Game time temperature just 62 degrees here at Progressive Field.
There's that breaking ball out over the plate. It stayed up enough where DeRosa kept the hands back and got enough of it to line it into left field. So the Indians get their first hit.
So 1 on 1 out here for Victor Martinez. Martinez is 1 for 6 in the series. Martinez with a ground ball. Pena will go the long way and get the out at first because Callaspo, the way they were shifted over, he just couldn't get to second base in time.
That's exactly right. DeRosa beat him there. They could have had a double play, but they play Victor on a shift and play him to pull on the ground.
Check out our Firestone League leaders. Firestone, a tradition of innovation. And when you're talking about Zach Greinke, he leads the major leagues in earned run average. But as you talked about before the game, the race for Cy Young is a 3-horse race, at least right now, between Greinke and Justin Verlander and Doc Halladay, who already has 10 wins.
Yeah, those three, I'll tell you, those 3 guys are really dealing. Halladay has the best record at 10-1. Greinke's got the best ERA. Verlander has the most strikeouts. He completed a game last night, beat the White Sox 2-1. You know, and his last pitch of the ball game, which is about a pitch on 120, was 98. And we get to see 2 of those guys in our division. This is the 3rd time that Greinke has pitched against us, and Verlander's already pitched twice against us, and they are having great years.
Indians have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs here in the first inning. They have not been able to score in the first inning this year. In their last 18 games, they've scored a total of 1 first inning run. Now the set by Greinke in the 0-2 to Chu.
Well, I guess you sit down, you think about it, you look at it, and Grady was off to a slow start. He was out of the leadoff spot for a while, and that's one of the reasons. Even though when Cabrera was inserted into that leadoff spot when we were back in Kansas City, remember he led off the game 3 straight times and got on base in that first inning. He was doing a good job filling in, and he got hurt.
The 1-2 pitch, and he's out looking. Indians get a hit, leave them stranded at second. After an inning of play, no score. Airlines, official airline of the Cleveland Indians. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. By McCafe Coffees at McDonald's, all made to order with fresh ground espresso beans. And by All Care Dental and Dentures, we make seeing the dentist easy. Scoreless as we go to the second inning. It'll be Jose Guillen, Alberto Callaspo, and Brian Pena to face Jeremy Sowers. Popped out of play on the right side. Sowers got 3 ground ball outs in the first. Set him down in order. Jose Guillen riding a 5-game hitting streak. And it's quickly 0-2. Jeremy's 2-strike pitch is roped foul. With their 9-0 win last night, the Royals moved a half game in front of the Indians, knocking the Tribe back into last place. 8 games off the pace in the AL Central.
But the one thing that they shoot for is they won the first game. If you can win this game here, you win the series. They did it in Chicago. The thing they're going to have to continue to do if they want to get back to that 500 mark and move on from there, you have to win the series. Nobody knows that better than Wedge because he's a grinder and he will never let these guys give up or quit.
The 1-2 pitch bounced to short, and Johnny Peralta has his 3rd assist already tonight. 1 away. Here's tonight's Alltel text poll question of the game. Which recent call-up do you think has been the most pleasant surprise? 1 for Trevor Crow, 2 for Chris Jimenez, 3 for Luis Valbuena, 4 for David Huff. Text your answer to 31962 and we'll have the results later tonight. Here is Alberto Callaspo coming off a career night. A career high 4 hits, a career high 4 runs batted in, and his first career grand slam. A little tapper. It's going to squib foul. Special hello goes out tonight to Sue and Lou Nicholas, watching in St. Clairsville, Ohio. They're the grandparents of Jeremy Sowers, who was born in St. Clairsville, down in the Ohio Valley. So they're tuned in, hoping to see Jeremy get the win.
Well, let's hope so.
Now the 1-1 pitch. And now Sowers ahead of Callaspo 1-2.
Well, and you like what you see to this point. 21 pitches, 14 strikes, so 2-1. He's out there hitting the strike zone.
Callaspo went after that pitch and shot it back.
What a night Callaspo had last night, huh? 4 for 4. 4 ribbies, hit his first career grand slam.
He's in another 4-game hitting streak.
He was one of the few Royals to ever do that, and George Brett's name wasn't on the list.
In the air, right field near the line. Chu makes the catch, straddling the line just into foul ground, 2 away. Shop at Alvin's Jewelers for the big sale. You can save up to 81% on jewelry of your choice. Support a Cleveland-owned family jeweler. Visit alvinsjewelers.com for all the store locations. Five up, 5 down for Jeremy Sowers tonight. Here's Brian Pena. 0 for 3 in the game last night. But perhaps he's a good luck charm for Trey Hillman. The Royals are 3-0 in his last 3 games that he started. That's going to go up into the club seat section down the right side. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch just off the outside edge. Pena, a switch hitter, serving as the Royals' DH tonight. Slow chopper to third. DeRosa couldn't field it cleanly, and Pena is safe at first. Had it in the glove, but it just bobbled loose.
Well, a topper. You can see where he's playing. He's back behind the bag. He just didn't field it cleanly. That's one that normally he would make. Give him an error.
For Mark DeRosa, that's his 9th error on the year. And a 2-out base runner now for Miguel Olivo, who is Superman on the road, and Kauffman Stadium is his kryptonite this year. Batting .292 away from the K with a .569 slugging percentage. Hit a 2-run homer in last night's game.
Yeah, that's funny how that goes because it changes from every year. Sometimes you can be a good hitter at home and you come back the very next year and you're better on the road than you are at home. It's hard to explain.
Sowers with the 0-1 pitch. And a weak roller hit to short. Peralta goes the short way, and the inning is over. We'll head to the bottom of the second here at Progressive Field. No score. Get a look at the Sports Time Ohio suite.
All right, who's in there tonight?
See big Steve Warren down there.
I see him, all right.
I think that's Pat Kilkenny as well, maybe.
Yeah, in the red jacket.
Laura from Master Control, Joe Rainiak. I think I see Punxsutawney Phil, Brian Hyla is down there as well.
No way.
Yeah.
He doesn't come out. Only in February.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Johnny Peralta, and it's off the plate. Johnny is 2 for 5 in the series. He'll be followed by Ryan Garco and Chris Jimenez here in the second. Out of play.
Zach Greinke in this ballpark has not had a whole lot of success here. His record is 2-5. His ERA is human. It's about 4.6, covering 37 innings. There, you'll see it. There it is right there. Talk about it, and it pops up.
And a called strike to the inside corner, much to the dismay of Peralta, 2-2.
You know, Matt, even when he came up, this is his 6th year with Kansas City. He's only 25. He had a feel for pitching when he was a kid. I mean, just, you know, knowing when to take off or put it on or throw the breaking ball or go inside. He's always had that knack. You could tell from a long time ago, even though he's had some problems in his career.
Blessed with electric stuff.
Yes. And he's a terrific athlete because he wanted to quit baseball and go play golf.
He was diagnosed with social anxiety disorder, which he had medication for and really has seemed to turn things around for him. Willie Bloomquist throws out Peralta, one away. Let's go back to the STO studios right now for a Ford Sports update. Here's Al Pulaski.
All right, guys, the Detroit Tigers just don't seem to lose. 2 outs in the 9th inning. Bobby Jenks on. Curtis Granderson leaving the yard with 1 aboard. The Tigers tied in the 9th. It's 3-3 now in the bottom half. Brian Anderson just singled for the Sox. We'll see what happens. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Al. Here's Ryan Garco stepping in, and he takes a strike. Now the 0-1 to Garco in the dirt. Garco 2 for his last 15. And this 1-1 pitch hit on the ground to second. Cayaspo got a favorable hop, throws him out, 2 down.
Well, you don't want to forget Father's Day, which is coming up a week from Sunday, and that gives you time to stop at an Indians team shop because they have a lot of merchandise in there that includes golf shirts, T-shirts, jackets, and more. You can visit any of the 6 convenient Indians team shop locations and take care of Dad.
That'll bring up Chris Jimenez. Came into the game last night late, 0 for 1. But so far in his brief time with the Indians has made quite an impact, going 3 for 9 with 2 home runs.
Well, his first major league hit was the home run in Minnesota. It was great to see. Then stepped up in Chicago when he got a start and hit one out there.
Like any young player, he'll have his ups and downs, but hitting coach Derek Shelton really thinks that Jimenez has the kind of swing that will translate well here at the big league level.
Well, getting playing time. If you find a spot for him to play. He's one of those guys that, you know, will play a corner position or the outfield, but how many at-bats will he get is the key. Hard to, when you're a young guy, to come up to the big leagues and sit on the bench and not play every day. Tough to keep your stroke sharp.
And then you get a start, and it's Zach Greinke.
Well, exactly. That's true. Well, yeah, that's okay. They don't mind.
No.
I used to say when you were a kid, you want to face the best because if you go out there, most guys don't get hits off them anyway. And if you do, that makes you feel like you belong to the big leagues when you go out and you face the best.
From 3-0 to 3-2 now. Chris told me, you know, he feels really comfortable playing third base, taking a lot of ground balls there. but comfortable at left field, first base. Strikes out here, and Greinke has fanned a pair through the first two. No score here in Cleveland. We are back here at Progressive Field. No scores. We move to the third inning. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you, joined now by Indians Director of Amateur Scouting, Brad Grant. The Major League Baseball draft is now over.
It's over.
It's quite a process, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 3 days. It's 50 rounds. I think our 50th pick was the 1,505th pick.
The numbers that go on. You got to get out and get some sun, but unfortunately, there is none for you to see.
No, I think my wife, my daughter Margaret, my son Will are probably looking right now and saying, no, he really does exist.
All right, so the breakdown looks like this. 23 right-handed pitchers, 8 southpaws, 19 position players. So a little heavy on the pitching side. Was that the game plan going in?
Yeah, that was the game plan going in. We felt like the draft strength this year was pitching. And we've been kind of position player heavy in the last two drafts. So we went after the strength of the draft, and we stuck to our process, and we felt like we did very well.
Now, the next phase of this after getting the draft done is signing these guys. And your job will be to sign, what, maybe the top 3 or 4 picks here first?
Yeah, the top 3, 4 picks. I'll be in negotiations with those, and then after that, then our area scouts will go out and they'll get the rest of the picks signed. We'll look at, signing the first, 10 to 15 players, and then after that, we usually follow the rest of the players over the course of the summer and see where things end up.
Bloomquist at the plate, foul tips it, and the count is 1-2. When you get into the late rounds, you're talking, like you said, 1,500 players deep into the draft. How much scouting information do you have accumulated on some of those guys when you're picking in rounds 45 through 50?
We got a lot, actually. The process is going to start all over again for us in a week. Our area scouts are going to get out there. They're going to go ahead and they're going to start scouting right now for 2010, and they're going to get the process rolling. So we actually know those players very well.
So those guys literally never stop scouting, do they?
No, they don't.
That's unbelievable. I was thinking, like, when we go to fantasy camp, it's a week long, and after you get about 3 guys, you're saying it's like throwing a dart at a balloon that busted. I'll take him, but when you get 1,000 picks into the draft and you know what you at least have some information, that's beating the streets, boy.
Yeah, it is, and it's a credit to our area scouts. They do a great job. They go at it very hard, and and we take pride in using the whole draft, using all 50 rounds. We found Tony Sipp, late in the draft, so Chris Jimenez was a later pick. So it is a credit to our scouts, but it's also a philosophy that we stick with and make sure that we use all 50 rounds effectively.
Maybe you can explain, how is it sometimes when you can get a number 1 draft pick and some of them never make it? to the big leagues, and a lot, and that happens for everybody. Now all of a sudden you may get a 15th round or a 17th round that comes up and it turns out to be a superstar, or maybe even a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, you can probably talk about it too. It's a very difficult game to play, and,
right?
And it's a game of making adjustments, and it's a game of going through it over and over and over. And some injuries play a factor in it. There's all sorts of different things that play a factor into it. So you just never know. That's why you want to make sure that the focus is always on that first round pick, but outside of that, you can add a lot of depth to your draft.
I always felt like when you're looking at somebody or you're watching them play, sure, they may have a great game, a great series, a great week, but it's day in and day out, year after year, and consistency, and it's heart, and it's soul, and it's where you come from, and it's how you were raised by mom and dad and brothers and sisters. Really, so much goes in it. That's why it is a crapshoot.
Yeah, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have that makeup, is what we call it. If you don't have those secondary intangibles, the drive to get through it.
Right?
Yeah, then it's difficult to make it here.
Brad, when you talk about your scouts, and those really are the guys who put in the hours of work to make the draft happen, how much turnover do you have in your scouting system as far as those guys who are out there beating the bushes trying to find these players year in, year out?
Yeah, that's a very important thing to us, Matt. Continuity is a big thing. The more continuity we have, the better decisions we make. And fortunately, we've been able to keep everybody here, and we've got a very good group of scouts, and they do a very good job for us.
And when you go on and you have a successful year, I don't think anybody's prouder than those scouts who really get no recognition, for the most part. They do through the organization and people like that, but I'm saying, from the team on the field, and they draft them and they're there, those guys got to be thrilled to death that some of their players make it to the big leagues.
They live and die with it. It all starts with them. So as soon as we draft a player, and once we get them out, every morning they're waking up looking at the box score, seeing how their players. That's what drives them. That's what motivates them. It's a big thing for them.
Talk about the late rounds and perhaps finding diamonds in the rough. Some local guys. I saw Robert Sabo from Kent State right down the road here, was a 38th round pick, and also Jonathan Kuntis, who's an Akron product out of Ohio Dominion.
Yeah, and we took Kyle Smith also from Kent State as well, and then we took Mike Heyman from Sandusky, Ohio. So, we took a lot of local products this year. Kent State, though, I mean, you got to give credit to their program as well. They had 7 players drafted this year from their program.
That's amazing, man. That's a good program.
It is. It's a credit to Scott Strickland and his staff and what they've done.
That's the first hit given up by Jeremy Sowers. It comes with 2 outs here in the 3rd inning as David DeJesus gets aboard, and it brings up Coco
Is Mike
Crisp.
Birkbeck the pitching coach there?
Yes.
Yeah, I played with Mike in Milwaukee. He was here. He's an Ohio boy, and he used to have a nice curveball. So, Berkey, if you're listening, hello, boy. Good job. I want to know how many pitchers you got drafted out of there.
We took 2 of them.
Good.
Yep.
Coco Crisp bounced out to third his first time up. That's with a runner at first and 2 down. Scoreless game here in the 3rd. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, we're visiting with Indians Director of Scouting Brad Grant. Does this process ever get to the point where you're in that draft room and you're starting to get bleary-eyed and you feel like you got to walk away for a little bit to catch your breath?
Yeah, it does. The good thing, though, is we do bring all of our scouts into Cleveland. They're all there behind me. We've got our cross-checkers in there, too, so they're helping with the decision-making process. It's not just John Mirabelli and myself sitting in there and just randomly pulling names. There's a very succinct process that we follow, and those guys are a big part of it.
Well, we're getting an opportunity this year. We've already gone through, 40 players so far this year, so the minor leagues are paying dividends. When you talk about a 40-man roster, when you go to spring training, this has been a year, 22 pitchers that we've been used to this point. So we are really utilizing the whole minor leagues, major league, everything we can to fill it out because of injuries.
That's why the depth of the draft, that's why using the whole draft is very important. You want to add as many prospects as you possibly can through the draft. And then using other resources as well.
Runner at first, 2 down, a 1-0 count on Coco Crisp. Fouls it back. I've always talked about this in the fact when in the past when we talk baseball draft, with football and with basketball in particular, those guys that get drafted, they pay almost immediate dividends at the professional level. And in baseball, it may be years before we see any of these guys. What's the general rule of thumb for how long you plan on a player developing before he can have an impact here in the major leagues?
Yeah, every player is different. You know, you can say as the rule of thumb it takes 5 years for a high school player and 3 to 4 for a college player, but every player is different. Some college players aren't quite as advanced, and some high school players are more advanced. So there's really no set way.
Well, great job, Brad. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Brad, nice seeing you. Go see your wife and kid.
Brad. Valbuena leading off against Zach Greinke, and the pitch is outside for ball one. Valbuena 1 for 6 in the series, but he has picked up a knock in 6 of his last 8 games. And he sends one to the gap in left center. Coco Crisp charging hard, dives, can't get it. Backed up nicely by DeJesus, and Valbuena into second with a leadoff double. And that has really been his specialty this season. For Valbuena, that's his 8th double. So out of his 15 hits, 8 of them have been doubles.
You're right. He's a double machine. He gets a ball, it'll look like a two-seamer out over the plate. Good attempt there. Good effort by Coco. Almost tracked it down, just got under the glove. You'll see that diving attempt. So the leadoff double. See if they can get him over and get him in. And these are the situations you have to take advantage of with Greinke on the mound. You get that leadoff double, you got to get him over and leave it up to the next guy to get him in.
Bloomquist at the cut of the grass at third, and Crow bunts it towards him. Greinke,
how about
off
that?
his back foot, makes a terrific throw to get the speed.
You know what he was going to do? He was going to go to third base, and then changed his mind in midstream and just backpedaling throws to first. This goes to how athletic he is. Watch, he was thinking third base and might have had a chance had he gone that way. And he said, "No, I'm just going to go to first base." And he was like an infielder. He must have heard the Olivo just tell him first base, because I know he was thinking third. So it'll go as a sacrifice. Good job by Crow.
Infield in, cut of the grass around the horn. Ben Francisco trying to get that run home from third now. He flied to right his first time up. Inside for ball one. Francisco with just 1 run batted in his last 6 games, but this is a big ribby waiting for him at third base. Lays off, and the count is 2-0. So now Francisco in a pretty good spot here, looking for a pitch he can just drive.
Yeah, something elevated. He's a .291 hitter with runners in scoring position. And he's being very patient as Greinke falls behind 3-0.
And he pops him up on the 3-0 pitch right at home plate. Olivo will squeeze it. 2 down.
Well, a big out for Zach Greinke. He elevated the fastball, and they gave him the green light. And, you know, I understand how they give him the green light, but he had a fastball to hit. Maybe got a little too big in his swing. That's a good pitch. Elevated up, and he just got under it. Popped it up. It stays in play, and it's out number 2.
Now Mark DeRosa, who had a base hit his first time up, looking for the 2-out RBI knock. And somebody might say, why would he swing at a 3-0 pitch? Well, against a guy like Greinke, that might be the best pitch you get in the at-bat.
That's exactly right. And you know what? It was a good pitch to hit. He just popped it up. There's nothing wrong with swinging 3-0. Because he made an out, who cares? He had an aggressive swing. He just popped it up. Very easily could have got him in. Now you're just saying, okay, come on, partner, pick me up. You're looking at Mark DeRosa to pick it up. This is one of the best pitchers in the league. That's why you give him the green light on 3-0. He's not going to walk you. He's going to get aggressive, and you figure you're going to get a fastball.
1-1 pitch. Inside corner.
This guy
called
gets,
strike.
I mean, he's tough. You need every swing you can get off him.
Now DeRosa in a tough position here.
Yes. Well, think slider. He got a base hit on a slider, but it was a hanging. There it is. That's the one he wants you to swing at. That one that goes out of the strike zone when he gets ahead of you. He doesn't throw it for a strike, and most hitters have a tough time laying off that pitch. Late break, and it goes straight down. I mean, it's hard pitch not to swing at.
Now the 2-2. Another slider that was a little nastier and in the dirt. Full count.
A little harder and a little steeper break. We'll see what Greinke does here. You have Martinez on deck. He won't give in. He's going for either a punch out, and if he walks him, he does. He'll go to the next guy.
Luis Valbuena, the runner at third with 2 down. No score. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Greinke's payoff pitch is ball 4. So the first walk issued tonight for Zach Greinke, just the 14th on the year. And we'll go back to the STO studios right now for a Ford Sports update.
Well, guys, it's finally over in Chicago. Bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, nobody out. Scott Podsednik, a bouncing ball into right field. That's the game winner. White Sox top the Tigers 4-3, the final score. Back to you now at Progressive Field.
All right, thanks, Al. Victor Martinez with runners at first and third and 2 down. Fastball outside for ball 1. Martinez grounded out to short his first time up. Olivo out for a brief chat. Martinez has driven in 11 runs in his last 14 games, and he's in a key spot right here.
Well, let's send out some get well wishes to Al Horn, who is recovering in Bryan, Ohio. I'd like to send a happy birthday wish to Evelyn Schlatterbeck of Olmsted Falls, who is turning 90. Evelyn, happy birthday to you.
Zach Greinke taking a long time. Now he sets. And Martinez ropes it into center field, a base hit. That'll score Valbuena. On his way to third goes DeRosa, and the Indians have a 1-0 lead as Victor Martinez drives in his 42nd run of the year with a 2-out RBI single.
Well, there you go. They pick up your teammates. Big base hit by Victor. Indians draw first blood. That is his 42nd RBI. This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. And anytime you can get a 2-out RBI single off Zach Greinke, you got to love it. And there it is right there. A nice swing, scoring Valbuena. And now that'll give Chu an opportunity.
Chu was called out on strikes on a borderline pitch his first time up. In the dirt. Good smother job by Olivo. Saved a run right there. Interesting, and I don't know what this means, but on the year, Rick, Greinke, half the runs he's allowed have come in the third inning. Maybe it's the second time through the order factor, but of his 20 runs that he's allowed, 10 have come against him in the third inning.
Well, for whatever reason, I don't know what it's worth. Who gave you that, Bo?
Mm-hmm. Who else?
He was sitting. Yeah, I know. He was sitting over there studying that.
Chu fouls it back.
Now, if he would have gave you that before that inning started, then I would be impressed. But now that's the afterthought, Tommy. Come on, you got to be better than that. He's done with me now.
He gave you the wave off. That's it. Over. Well, we talked about it in the open. Greinke has been a little more human of late. Last 2 starts, he's allowed 8 runs in 12 innings coming into tonight. Swung on a miss, 1-2 the count. Those last 2 starts were against the White Sox and the Blue Jays.
Well, you're going to have a rough outing. He was cruising along so well. You're going to hit a bump in the road. You're going to go out there and someone's going to, hit one of your pitches out of the ballpark. They are going to get to you every now and then.
Shin-Soo Choo, meanwhile, over his last 29 games, has scored 22 and driven in 20. In the dirt, he lays off 2-2 the count. And at the very least, the Indians have scored the first run here in the inning, and they've made Greinke pile up the pitch count. This will be number 50 coming up.
Once again, and they've been very good against Greinke in his career of making him work hard to get through innings. He doesn't seem to have the slider tonight where he can, control it, pinpoint. I mean, it's still a good slider, but it's not right at that hitting area where you have to swing at it. He did there.
Chu couldn't hold up, chased it, but the Indians get on the board first. Through 3, it's Cleveland 1, Kansas City 0. Lead through 3 innings. Jeremy Sowers Has made 45 pitches through the first 3. 69% of them have been for strikes. He's keeping the ball on the ground tonight, too. 8 ground ball outs for Jeremy Sowers. And 6 of them have been hit to Johnny Peralta. So Peralta, who has a career high of 9 assists, already has 6 through the first 3 innings tonight. So he's been busy at shortstop. Fouled back, and Johnny obviously has been bouncing around a lot here lately, playing at shortstop, primarily at third. But he's been Johnny on the spot so far this evening. Billy Butler with a 1-1 count. Lines one just past Peralta and in the left field. So the Royals get their leadoff man aboard for the first time tonight. Just the second hit allowed by Sowers.
Well, he put a nice swing on this ball and hit it hard past Peralta. He didn't really have a chance to go. That one stayed out over the plate. He either wanted to get that ball in a little bit more. So the second hit for the Royals. This is the first time they've had their leadoff man aboard tonight.
Going to bring up Jose Guillen, who grounded to short his first time up. This is outside for ball 1. Missed outside with it. 2 balls and no strikes. Guillen is one of those guys who gets better the more looks he gets at a pitcher. First time he bats against a pitcher this year, he's hitting .222. Second time he sees him, .286. If he's still around for the third at bat, average goes up to .343.
Well, he starts eliminating pitches, once he gets the game plan that you're working, and he will, as veteran hitters do, eliminate their pitches, look to their strengths, and try and get after it. And that's why when you see some pitchers that go through, and Jeremy Sowers will be a good case. He seems to be, he's been very good for 5 innings, and all of a sudden that third time through the lineup, they get to him.
3-0 pitch is hit deep to right field. Chu's running out of real estate, makes the catch deep in right field. About a stride in front of the fence for out number 1. Let's check out our great clip of the game from yesterday, and it was Shin-Soo Choo in right field showing off his gun.
Well, he has one of the better arms, and that was just a terrific throw and a beautiful block by Shopik.
Relax, you're at Great Clips. That time Chu was backed up, but he makes the catch. And Alberto Callaspo, who fouled out his first time to the plate, lines one toward left center. On the run is Crow, now circling in, plays it on the hop. And the Royals have runners at first and second with 1 out. Trevor was cutting back and over, and then that ball just died on him.
It must have been off the end of the bat. It didn't look like it stayed up. It hit off the end. You see how he came back and circled it? He thought that ball was going to be a little deeper than what it really was. Then had that divot out there as he's coming in, but he does a nice job to pick it. If that ball deflects off him, that's at least a double. And you have runners at second and third. So he was able to pick it and keep it in play.
Now here's Brian Pena with 2 on and 1 out. After being a ground ball machine through the first 3 innings, he's getting the ball up a little more. Sowers is here in the 4th inning. He could use one of those ground balls right here. The 1-0 is outside, 2 balls, no strikes. This is the 5th game Pena has appeared in for Kansas City this year. I beg your pardon. Pena appeared in 4 games in his first stint with Kansas City. This is his second go-round after being optioned back to AAA Omaha. He was batting .307 for the Omaha Royals. Two on with 1 out. Indians on top 1-0, 4th inning. And he went hacking.
What do we have already?
Everybody's going after the 3-0 pitch.
Is that
tonight.
our third 3-0
Yep.
swing today?
It is indeed. Yep.
Yes, indeed. Well, they're saying go ahead, green light. No red lights in this ballpark tonight, all green.
And he draws a walk.
Well, right there, I think that's where Jeremy is just giving him a little too much credit and maybe nibbling. First walk of the evening, but he loads the bases with it.
And now we have to deal with Miguel Olivo, who grounded into an inning-ending fielder's choice. His first time up. Now here's a guy. This will be an interesting matchup right here because, as we know, Olivo is a free swinger.
Yes, he is. He searches the heat, looks for the fastball. A guy that you may want to throw a changeup to first pitch, but make sure it's down. Jeremy looking for a ground ball. See what Victor calls. He was out talking to him, but you want him to get ahead in the count now. There you go. Fastball right there, down.
This will be pitch number 60 coming up for Sowers. Bases loaded, 1 out here in the 4th. Fouled back, 0-2 the count. Now here is where you want to try to take advantage of a guy who will expand his strike zone. You don't want to make this pitch probably too good, do you?
No, you do not. I mean, you've got a chance to set up a pitch here. How do you want to get him out through your scouting report? If you want to get him out with a changeup away, bust him in here with a fastball. Don't give him any swinging room and up. Beautiful.
Got him.
Beautifully done. 3 pitches.
Big strikeout for Sowers, 2 down.
And that was his very first strikeout.
He went up and in with the heat, and Olivo couldn't help himself.
Beautiful, because now even if he doesn't hit with this pitch, Matt, it's a setup pitch for the next pitch because you're changing his eye level. You can go down and away with a changeup at the next pitch, but he gets him to swing, expand his strike zone, gets a second out, and has a chance to get out of the inning now.
Tough out here. Willie Bloomquist is 4 for 9 in the series. He grounded out to short his first time up. Takes the ball up high. Bloomquist is just 1 for 2 in bases loaded situations this year.
Well, Bloomquist played 1 game at short, played 1 game in center, and now playing at third today.
Ground ball to short. Johnny Peralta goes the short way, and the inning is over. So Jeremy Sowers walks the tightrope and makes it to the other side. Nicely done. Crow talking with Indians outfield coach Jeff Datz, probably about the route on that ball that sank in front of him. He was able to keep it in front of him, which was obviously big the way that inning turned out.
Yeah, he did a nice job. You're right. If that ball deflects off him, then everybody moves up at least one more base, and it's a different situation.
Johnny Peralta shoots one foul. 0-2 the count on Peralta, who grounded to third his first time up tonight. Lays off that slider. And he couldn't help himself that time. Fourth strikeout for Greinke, one down here in the inning. When the Indians go deep this year, the Gathering Place benefits from the generosity of our friends at Great Clips. $50 for every homer hit by the Tribe goes to the Gathering Place, a wonderful, caring community who helps individuals and families who are dealing with cancer. Log on to touchedbycancer.org, find out more. Also, you can make a donation as well. Ryan Garco smacks one to left. It's over the head of DeJesus. Now Ryan makes the big turn. He'll go for two, and the throw is in time. Good hustle by Garco. We're trying to go in there with a head-first dive, and Callaspo slapped the tag on.
That's a nice play by DeJesus in left field. You have to go for two there. You hit the ball to the wall. I mean, that just shows you Garg doesn't have the greatest speed. I mean, he's thinking double. He's out of the box running. But watch how DeJesus makes it. Short hop, excellent throw, tag, got him. Good play. It took a perfect throw to get him, and they did have him.
Now you can see where Garco might have had an argument that he got the hand in there, but it was a bang-bang play. Two down for Chris Jimenez. Looks at the ball down low. The 1-0 pitch. Missed down low with it. Comes back with a strike, 2-1. Boy, did he pull the string. 68 miles an hour.
Well, we said that in Kansas City. Here's a guy that can show you 25-mile-an-hour variance on that curveball there, and he can throw it as slow as he wants to when he gasses it up to 95 or thereabouts.
Jimenez with a fly ball into center field, but with that wind blowing in, that ball's not going anywhere tonight. So we've played 4 innings here at Progressive Field. It's Cleveland 1. By Subway. Play hard, eat fresh. By Alltel Wireless. Choose who you call for free with My Circle. Any number, any network. And by Direct Energy, offering simple solutions for all your natural gas needs. Visit directenergy.com/GoTribe for details. One zip, Tribe on top, fifth inning here at Progressive Field. Tony Pena Jr. will lead it off, the number 9 hitter for KC. And the ball is inside 1-0. Thought about a bunt. For some reason, changed his mind and took it for a strike. Pena Jr. batting .083 on the year. That's 2 hits and 24 at bats. Called strike. Makes the count 1-2.
So far today, Jeremy with 6 0-2, 1-2 counts. Kansas City 0 for 6. That shows you how important it is for Jeremy to do that.
Sowers continues to build on the positive things that he has done in each of his last outings. There's a liner into right field, a base hit, though.
Well, that's what Kansas City did so well last night when Pavano had them down 0-2, 1-2. They were able to battle back and find a way to get base hits, and Pena does it right there.
Let's get a look at our Subway fresh face of the game down on the farm. John Drennan, Double-A outfielder. 10 games with the Arrows so far, 368 average, couple of homers, 16 ribbies. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. David DeJesus, in throwing out Ryan Garco last inning, now leads the league in assists with 6. He was tied.
It may have hit him out of the box.
No, he's in the box, foul ball.
I don't know about that. Victor wants some help.
I'm just telling you what the home plate umpire said.
Well, he is, but Eric Wedge is coming out. Victor says, no, that ball hit him outside the batter's box. Victor saying, why don't you get some help? But he's saying, no, he called it. He saw it.
You can overhear Eric Wedge on our microphone saying he was out of the box when the ball hit him. But Eric Cooper begs to differ.
Well, I'm sure we'll get a look at it. And let's see. Where does it hit him? Well, it did. It looked like his front foot was right on that line. Let's see where the ball comes down and hits him now. So his front foot is still on that line in the box before he comes out. So it looked like he made the right call.
DeJesus with a base hit his last time up. He's gone 4 for 12 in the series, as you see there. Fouled out of play. No balls, 2 strikes.
Send a happy belated 70th anniversary. That's right, 70th anniversary to Andy and Marie Verkin. Geneva, Ohio. Well, that's a long time to be married. $70 years.
Says you, I guess, huh?
Well, I think 70 years old is long enough to just have your 70 birthdays, let alone be married for 70 years.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, we got a nice note from Mary Eitzen in Bay Village, Ohio. Long-time Indians fan. She sent us an article from the paper about this very situation here, the lefty versus lefty matchup.
Okay.
And it is interesting when you consider that only 10% of the population is left-handed, but 25% of Major League Baseball players are left-handed.
Now, is that throwing or hitting?
Just 25% of all major leaguers.
Okay.
Now, of the 61 pitchers in the Hall of Fame, 13 of them are lefties, 21%, which is more than twice the general population. Of the 138 total members in the Hall of Fame, 59 are lefties. There are 8 switch hitters.
Almost 50%.
Yeah. Now, you batted left-handed, right?
Yes.
According to the guys who study this stuff and try to make some scientific correlation, it really comes down to the simple idea that left-handed batters get a better look at the pitch from a right-handed pitcher.
Of course they do. You pick up the ball early, you see it better.
And there are more right-handed pitchers in the game.
Plus, they're closer to first base.
That is the other element. As a hitter, if you're a left-handed hitter, you're already 5 feet closer to first base, and with the swing and spin, you're carrying yourself towards first base.
Well,
whereas a right-handed hitter, your swing is actually carrying you towards third, so you got to stop.
Sometimes, if you're sitting back on it and pull it, yes. If you're reaching for it out over the plate, you may be leaning towards first, but you're going to gain a step out of the left-handed batter's box. There's no doubt.
1-2 pitch. Able to lay off. So the correlation is that a left-handed hitter will get to first base about 1/6 of a second faster than a right-hander, which translates into a few more base hits, higher batting average. Interesting stuff. So thanks to Mary Eitzen in Bay Village for her note. This is hit pretty well in the gap, right center, long way. It'll be cut off on the warning track by Crow. Coming around third, Tony Pena Jr. is going to try to score the tying run, and he will. And stopping at second with a double is David DeJesus, his second hit of the night, his 22nd run batted in on the year, and we're even up at 1 apiece.
Well, it looked like DeJesus picked down a breaking ball from Jeremy Sowers. Let's see. Yes, it is. It's a hanger. It's one of the few breaking balls that I've seen tonight, and he left that one up in the zone and speeds up the bat of DeJesus, who plugs the gap in right center field. So Kansas City will tie the score up on back-to-back hits in the 5th, the 12th double for DeJesus and his 22nd RBI. Still nobody out.
And Coco Crisp, 0 for 2, will be the batter.
I thought DeJesus could have gone to third base there.
Well, he's just, thrilled to be on base because I said he's coming in batting 169 this year against lefties. And he's already 2 for 3 tonight.
Well, right now what Kansas City trying to do is get him over and in. When you have a guy like Zach Greinke on the mound, get him the lead. They're able to tie it up. But right now, this is where Jeremy, you don't want to try and be too fine. There you go. He tied up Coco. See, Coco thinking going the other way, but that's what that fastball will do to a right-hander trying to slap it the other way. You've got to really wait, and he has to wait to bring those hands in. It was a tough pitch to hit the other way.
And the 2-1 pitch is outside. Well, back-to-back innings now. The Royals have had their leadoff man aboard, so that's now 9 for 19 for Royals leadoff hitters in the series, including 3 walks, a hit batter, and they've totaled 4 runs. Seems like it should be more than that, but...
Well, it probably should. You know, that's where good teams, offensive teams, take advantage when they get the leadoff man on and they make things happen.
3-1 pitch.
Oh, wide open. It's short.
And Coco foul tipped it.
See, Peralta's coming in. He wants to talk to Sowers. They had a play on. They moved in behind to Jesus at second base, and he left shortstop vacated. Now watch where Johnny sneaks in. Now, Sowers should have stepped off. He didn't. He goes to the plate. And that's just like a timing play, although it didn't hurt him.
Coco's probably
sure.
He saw that giant
hole.
You
see the hole, so you go ahead and you do change and try and do something and hit it over there. You don't have to hit it hard, but they get away with it.
This will be pitch number 80 for Sowers right here. And on the 3-2, it's blooped into right field.
Beautiful job.
DeJesus won't be able to score. He had to go back to the bag. He did not get a good read. So
no.
Royals at the corners, but still nobody out.
Job well done there by Coco Crisp. He waited and never gave in and still was able to go the other way. Even though DeJesus doesn't score. Look at a very good pitch down. Coco says, I'm just going to slap it that way. Gets his job done. Out comes Carl Willis. It's been 3 consecutive hits now for the Royals.
And the batter will be Billy Butler, who had a base hit his last time up. Scott Lewis made a start tonight in his rehab stint at Lake County. 3 innings of hitless baseball with 3 strikeouts. Faced the minimum, 9 batters, so that's good news for Scotty Lewis coming back from that right forearm strain, or left forearm strain. Wouldn't be much of an injury for Scott if it was his right forearm.
He'd still be here pitching.
Down low for ball 1 to Butler.
Well, Jeremy, that first time through the lineup, Matty, was able to take care of the Royals no problem. They were 0 for 9. Since that point, they have made the adjustment. They are now 6 for 10. They had the 1 hit in the 3rd inning. They got 2 in the 4th. They have 3 here in the 5th. And now they're going through their 3rd time in the lineup.
And pitch to Butler is fouled straight back off that sign. Butler has extended his hitting streak to 7 straight games. 9 hits now in his last 28 at bats. But he's been one of their better hitters in these situations. A .347 average with runners in scoring position. He's got that runner at 3rd with nobody out. Runner goes. Throw it on to second base, not in time. Crisp with his team leading 13th steal. Takes away the double play possibility now.
Yeah, that's what they could have used, the double play, but that's what happens. I mean, they know the situation. They did throw through, though. It's just that the throw was a little bit offline. Base runner's now 3 for 3 in stealing bases off Jeremy this year.
Trying to get him to chase, but Butler able to lay off. Victor was hoping to get Butler to maybe chase that and pop it up or swing through it. Fouled out of play, right side. And the count stays at 2-2. Billy Butler with 3 hits in the series and 12 at bats. But he's in a pretty good spot right here with 2 runners in scoring position and nobody out here in the top half of the 5th inning. The Royals have already tied the game, looking to give their ace the lead. Fouled, almost picked off to Jesus. Butler only has 4 home runs this year, but 18 doubles. And he steps away. Those 18 doubles have him tied for 6th best in the AL. The 2-2 from Sowers, bounced to short. This will give the Royals the lead. Butler grounds out, but he picks up his 26th RBI of the year, and it's 2-1 Kansas City. Coco Crisp moves to 3rd on the play.
Well, it was good base running. Even on it's a ground ball to shortstop that he got a good read off the bat. He was able to go to 3rd base. So that does 2 things. It not only gets the run home, it gets that guy over to 3rd base, less than 2 outs. Now it gives Guillen an opportunity. And it makes the infield pull the infield in.
And Guillen is one of the best in the business with runners in scoring position, a .368 average. 4th in the AL in that category. Pops it back out of play. Guillen almost drove one out of here his last time up. He sent Shin-Soo Choo to the wall in right field with a fly ball. Activity now in the Indians bullpen as Jeremy Sowers has made 88 pitches so far tonight. Pretty good looking pitch, but it's called a ball, 1-1. Here you see Guillen. It's hard to believe he's only been in this situation 4 times. Which again speaks to the offensive woes of Kansas City as you see Greg Aquino loosening. Popped in the air. This is foul and nobody will get to it. Guy in a yellow hat gets a souvenir. Jeremy Sowers now at 90 pitches on the night. Trying to get through this inning without any more damage being done, but that's going to be a tough chore with Coco Crisp at 3rd and the heart of the lineup here. Jose Guillen is down on the count, 1-2. Ran it up high. This is a situation where, as a pitcher, this is where you really want to get that strikeout. But Sowers, he's more of a pitch to contact guy.
Well, I mean, you have to get your out. You know, if they get him in, then they get him in. But I mean, he's already thrown 28 pitches this inning, and I mean, he's getting to that. They got him. There you go.
He elevated it, and Guillen went hacking. 2nd strikeout for Sowers, and it's a big one for Jeremy.
Yes, it is.
Same situation with Olivo last inning.
You know, that one not even close. He didn't want to swing at that, and now he gets himself out. You're right. Olivo did the same thing.
Able to elevate that fastball and get those hitters to widen those eyes and go after it.
Well, they want to get that run in. It shows me that they were getting a little anxious to try and get that run in from 3rd, not be patient enough, and if he walks you, you take the walk.
Not out of the woods yet with Callaspo at the plate, who's a tough hitter. Fouls this one out of play. Callaspo 1 for 2. He singled his last time up, and he's been on a tear. He has 7 hits in 10 at-bats in the series. That's what a 4 for 4 will do for you. He has 11 hits in his last 32 at-bats. Just having a tremendous season. Callaspo has a pretty good eye, too. He's only struck out once every 14.2 plate appearances. That makes him the third toughest to fan in the league.
Well, he will put the bat on the baseball. He'll go out of the zone. He finds a way to put it in play.
Bounced it in there, 2-1. Now you've got Brian Pena on deck with first base open. Once you fall behind him, you might start thinking about working around him a little bit.
Well, he's pitching him tough. He knows what he's got to do. He's got to try and keep the score right here, so he's going to do everything in his power. I mean, this is a 33 pitches now. In the inning, and it's a 3-1 count, so he realizes what's going on. He is trying to work his way through. This is going to be his last inning, I would think so. Hopefully he can get out of it and keep it a 2-1 ball game.
3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Full count.
The hitters, they helped him out. That's a ball. He didn't want to take the walk. He says, I'm going to look for the fastball, but he gets the changeup, and he helps him out. That ball not even close to being a strike.
So now a runner at third with 2 down. Royals up 2-1 here, top of the 5th. A 3-2 count on Alberto Callaspo. And it's fouled out of play. So Jeremy Sowers maybe nearing the end of the line here at 98 pitches. But as Rick said, trying to get out of this inning and keep it a 2-1 game. 3-2 pitch. Popped in the air. Tough play. Chu coming hard. He'll be there and make the grab. So Sowers works out of it. But the Royals get the lead with 2 runs on 3 hits. Bottom of the 5th here at Progressive Field. Amidst the fog, it's a 2-1 Royals lead now. Luis Valbuena will lead it off for the Tribe as you see Jeremy Sowers, who went 5 innings tonight. Valbuena led off the 3rd with a double and came around to score the Indians' only run. He lays down a beauty of a bunt. Bloomquist with the off-balance throw, and he still got him. I'll tell you what, That was some play by Willie Bloomquist.
Hey, and don't forget about Butler on the stretch, and he had to pick it on the backhanded side. It really was both play on both sides. Valbuena did a good job of challenging him. He's not a third baseman by trade. He's just playing there tonight for the first time in the series. But barehands it, the throw. Now watch Butler as he's stretching away from the bag. Kept the foot on the base, picked it. Very nicely done to get the leadoff runner. Look at that. Good pick.
Now Trevor Crowe looks at a ball down low.
I like the idea there for Valbuena. Like it a lot.
Big bouncer to second. Callaspo will throw him out, 2 away. Here's another look at tonight's Alltel text poll question of the game. Which recent call-up has been the most pleasant surprise for you? Trevor Crowe, Chris Jimenez, Luis Valbuena, David Huff. Text your answer to 31962, and we'll have the results coming up a little later on. Here is Ben Francisco 0 for 2 tonight. There's David Huff.
He'll start in tomorrow night's ball game against the Cards.
Interleague play is back.
Yes, it is. The Redbirds coming in. Redbird will be happy.
Indians will face St. Louis and then Milwaukee before heading to Chicago to face the Cubs, and then on to Pittsburgh to battle the Pirates. And then we'll come back home and face the Reds.
And done.
And we'll be done.
Again.
2 balls and a strike on Ben Francisco.
Well, that's where Kansas City, they made up last year in interleague play. They were 13-5 against National League clubs. The Indians didn't fare so well, 6-12. So those Kansas City hoping, if they can, to get a win here and end a 9-game road trip before going home. They play Cincinnati tomorrow.
Bloomquist grabs it in foul territory. The Indians go 1-2-3 for the second time tonight.
Like a June evening, doesn't it?
That's a great shot, though, from over near Edgewater Park. Can barely see downtown Cleveland with the fog.
Yeah, it's been like that all afternoon.
6th inning of play now, and Greg Aquino will come on in relief of Jeremy Sowers, who went 5 innings tonight, giving up 2 runs on 6 hits. Sowers walked 1, struck out 2 tonight. Brian Pena will lead it off for Kansas City.
Well, he was able to work through that 5th inning and only allow the 2 runs. So they're right in it. They're 1 run down. Turn it over to your bullpen. And the bullpen has been very good in this series for the Indians.
Up the middle, backhanded nicely by Valbuena, and he throws him out. Here's our direct energy bringing the gas sequence. Miguel Olivo facing Jeremy Sowers back in the 4th inning with the bases loaded. And only 1 out.
Yeah, he went to work on him, got ahead early. After he had walked the hitter before, he comes right out aggressive. He's up in the count 0-2, and he puts him away. Got him to swing at a fastball out of the zone. Nicely done.
Direct Energy, simple solutions for your natural gas supply needs. Aquino, that ball got away from him, and he almost hit Olivo.
Well, I was telling you about the bullpen in this series, Matt. 7 and now 2/3 innings. They allowed only 3 hits. That's 24 at-bats. They've walked 1, 9 punch-outs. So they've done a terrific job, and if they can continue that, they're going to have a good chance to come back and win this ball game. Especially the way they have scored from the 7th inning on against the Royals this year, where 25 of their 50 runs that they have scored have come from the 7th inning on.
The 1-1. Bounce to short. Peralta will throw him out.
Well, tomorrow night when we kick off our series against St. Louis, there's going to be a post-game fireworks show. It'll all be set to 80s music. That's the theme for the weekend, the 80s. What a great era that was. I know it was your favorite.
No doubt about it.
You were a young kid watching me play back in the 80s. Let's go. Have fun.
By the way, that assist by Peralta equals his career highs. 9 assists now in the game.
Boy, that's a lot, huh? Shortstop, 9. Yes, indeed. That's fun, though. When you're playing that position, you're busy. Yeah, you've got something to do every inning. That's fun when you're out there working.
Bloomquist chased one. 0-2 the count. And it's probably nice when you're at shortstop and you've got a lot, I don't want to call them routine plays, but, you know, they're normal plays where you gather yourself, you field, you throw them out. Remember the game? It was the first game of the series. Valbuena was diving everywhere. He couldn't get anybody out.
Well, a little different situation, yeah. I mean, no, that makes it fun when you're into everything. You're making plays, and you're right. They're not hard plays. They're routine plays that you've got to get your job done. It's like taking batting practice or before the game. The guy's hitting the fungos to you, and you're just going through it routinely.
Bloomquist is 0 for 2 tonight, and the 0-2 pitch is strike 3 call.
Beautiful.
Greg Aquino sets him down 1-2-3. And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th, 2-1 KC.
Who kicked the bucket? They're gone.
Not sure what that was all about. It was our
either.
control room. Somebody kicked the bucket, or perhaps a piece of machinery kicked the bucket. Mark DeRosa looks at a ball outside. DeRosa has singled and walked tonight. Greinke over 70 pitches on the evening, but 40 have been for strikes. And he is rolling at a pretty good clip right now. Rick, in his last 2 innings, he's made 10 pitches to get through the 4th, 10 pitches to get through the 5th.
Yeah, well, and with Tommy, he gave me a note here, and he said Greinke this year from the 6th inning on has not allowed a run. And an average of 129 to the hitters, who are 12 for 93. That's pretty darn good when you're that tough at this time of the ball game.
3-1 pitch in the dirt, and the Indians get their leadoff man aboard via the walk. Greinke has walked 2 so far tonight. Time now for our Northern Ohio Toyota dealers game recap. Victor Martinez put the Tribe on the board first with the RBI single, scoring Valbuena. The Royals came back on the DeJesus RBI double. That tied the game. And then they went ahead on the Billy Butler RBI groundout, and that's been it. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. Here is Victor Martinez now with that leadoff man aboard. Martinez a ground to short in the first, and RBI single in the third. Gives him a dozen runs batted in now over his last 15 games. Double play ball here. Caiasso had trouble getting it out of his glove, and they'll only get the out at second base.
Boy, there's another time where that's a double play ball. Kansas City maybe trying to rush it a little bit, and they were lucky to get one.
He almost threw it away.
I know it. They were lucky to get one. They did that the other night. They were up 4-0. Butler at first base pulled, as a matter of fact, he pulled Bloomquist off the bag at short. He couldn't get the ball out on the transfer. Pena does a nice job to catch it and just stay on first base. He bobbled it, trying to be a little too quick with it, but they do get the lead runner. That could have been a double play, so that's a break for the Indians.
Now here is Shin-Soo Choo. And I'm guessing Greinke did a little video work before the game, because when he faced him earlier this year, Choo was 2 for 3 with a run batted in against him, but he's punched him out in both at bats here tonight. Knocked him off the dish for that pitch, 1-1. Strike is called, 1-2. Shin-Soo Choo, 0 for 7 in the series.
Boy, oh boy, he went to work, didn't he?
Now 0 for 8 as he has struck out for the 3rd time tonight. And Greinke has really had his number. That's 5 punch-outs for him. Browns fans, you can win a Trips Pack, the Browns' new 3-game ticket plan. Log on to STOHD.com now and tell us your 3 favorite Browns receivers of all time, and you'll be automatically entered to win. Johnny Peralta looking at a strike. He's 0 for 2. Off the plate, the chopper. Oh, what a pick by Pena, and he throws him out.
Beautiful play.
Terrific play by the Royals shortstop, and the inning is over. 6 complete. 2-1, Kansas. baseball on Sports Time Ohio, brought to you by KeyBank. Feel safe at home with the banking home of the Cleveland Indians. And by AM/PM. Too much good stuff. Not a whole lot of good stuff tonight for the Indians offensively. Zach Greinke is doing his thing, limiting them to a run on 4 hits. But the good news is Jeremy Sowers did a terrific job, and now Greg Aquino with a scoreless inning of relief under his belt.
He had a pretty good feeling it was going to be like that. It was going to be a low-scoring game coming into it. I mean, they were shut out last night by Gil Mesh, who pitched a gem with 11 punch-outs. You knew you weren't going to get much. At least they got on the board early. And they're only down 1 here, and you have 3 innings to go.
Tony Pena Jr. leading off for the second time tonight, batting 9th. He led off the 5th with a single and came around to score the Royals' first run. You know, speaking of Gil Mesh, he said after the game last night that warming up in the bullpen, he felt awful.
Hopefully he never feels awful again. But that's funny. You talk to a lot of pitchers where they say, God, I had great stuff in the bullpen. They don't get out of the second or third inning.
Right.
They went out there, they feel awful, and they come in and they deal. I don't know what it is. I've heard many pitchers say that. Well, and that can go hand in hand with, like an everyday player. You go out and, boy, you feel great in batting practice. You do something, the game starts, a quick 0 for 4. You punched out twice. Hang with them. It matters what happens at 7 o'clock and how you feel.
That's the old line in the clubhouse. What time we hitting today? 7:05.
Well, yeah.
Strike called, full count.
You hope.
Yeah. Greg Aquino into the line, and the payoff pitch is a big bouncer towards second. Valbuena guns it over, 1 down. Let's send you back to the STO studios once again for a Ford Sports Update with Al.
All right, guys, let's go down to the Trop where Evan Longoria against the Angels is leaving the yard. That's his 13th homer of the year, his 56th RBI to time with Jason Bay right now for the American League lead. 5-1, Tampa Bay leads the Angels. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Al. Here it's 2-1 Kansas City. Base is empty, 1 out. David DeJesus, couple of hits on the night, including an RBI double and a run scored. Well, it was good to catch up tonight with Greg Fry and Brad Sellers. They're here tonight checking out the Indians. Greg does a lot of work with Sports Time Ohio in the fall with our high school football coverage. And Brad, of course, does great work with our high school basketball coverage in the winter. DeJesus takes a strike and then kind of quickly 0-2. Now the 0-2 pitch. Missed outside with it. Coming with the off-speed pitch there. Got him. Beautiful slider by Aquino. 2 down here in the 7th. That's his second strikeout. Let's have a look at our All Care Dental Indentures Smiling Easy Cam. Here today at Progressive Field, even through the fog, you can see the pearly whites shining. With 17 locations across northeastern Ohio, All Care Dental and Dentures make seeing the dentist easy. 2 down for Coco Crisp, who is 1 for 3 tonight with a single and a stolen base to his credit. In the hole. Maybe a tough play for Peralta, and he won't get him.
Not with Coco running.
Second hit tonight for Crisp on the infield single.
Well, if you're traveling, you can always catch the Tribe games on your computer with MLB.tv. It's the ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 live out-of-market games per week, plus on-demand games. For full details, visit Indians.com, where baseball is always on. Situation here, you can look for Coco to run two with 2 outs. Try and get in a scoring position, maybe add on. Utilize his speed. He has a stolen base tonight already.
Victor Martinez going to go out and talk with Aquino. Would he be talking to him right now, do you think, about that situation? About
Well,
what
you
to
know,
throw with
let's
Coco
go.
at first?
Don't worry about him. Let's get this hitter out. Let's throw strikes, and I'll take care of it. If he wants to run, we'll get him. You know, he doesn't want to, put any pressure on him. I'm not sure the time on Aquino goes to the plate, but he looks relatively quick. So all you can ask is just, let him know that you're thinking about him, and let's get this guy here. A couple throws just to pay attention. And if you're Coco in a situation, you want to take off as early as you can in the count to give that hitter a chance before he gets buried in the count, and then he can't worry about it. That's the one thing you have to do as a base stealer with 2 outs is go as early as you can. And good job here where he just almost tried to quick pitch him.
2-0 the count. It's a 2-1 Royals lead here, top of the 7th inning already. Three and 0. And you've got Jose Guillen waiting on deck. Well, the Royals have been aggressively swinging 3-0 tonight. Let's see if the trend holds true.
No, not in this count.
And it's ball 4. So Aquino walks him on 4 straight. And it will bring up the dangerous Jose Guillen. .31-year-old Greg Aquino with 2 on and 2 out here in the 7th inning. And he drops an off-speed pitch for strike 1 into Jose Guillen. Aquino signed a minor league deal. Went to spring training as a non-roster invitee this year. Coco Crisp, the runner at second. Billy Butler at first with 2 down. And Aquino's 0-1 pitch. Missed inside with that one. Evens it up.
Again, a night where the Gulls are back. This has been unbelievable this year. They are all over the place again.
Feeding time. They're not here when the daylight. It's only at nighttime. You don't see them during batting practice or really before the game. It's just once nightfall, it's feeding time. There's the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1 to count. Laz Diaz having a look.
Yeah, he's taking a look. He's trying to get him out of here. He didn't want anybody to come over and peck on his head.
Not to mention if a ball lands down there near the line. Was it the ball or the goal? Aquino's 2-1 pitch. Fouled back, and the count evens up at 2-2. As we saw last night, too, sometimes you get a fly ball into a gaggle of birds and they don't move. They're not even frightened away by the ball. Laz is ready to take cover if they start bombing. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 count. And Aquino's pitch is popped up, foul, and over the dugout into the seats. And the youngsters got it. Nice play. Huh? How about, did he make that with the catch on the glove, or did he grab the rebound? That was a heck of a grab, though, one way or the other. The little guy came up with it. So again, 2 on, 2 out, a 2-2 count. And the right-hander's pitch is swung on and missed. He just blew it by him. Good fastball from Greg Aquino. And the Royals strike. Friends, don't forget you can stop by Panini's and enjoy pizza, wings, or one of their famous overstuffed sandwiches on their beautiful outdoor patios. Check out the ball game. Home of the best outdoor dining in town. Visit paninisgrill.com. Bottom of the 7th, Ryan Garco leads it off and looks at a first pitch strike. Our official attendance here tonight, 14,342.
That's for you, Zap. Told you. We tried to tell you, at least.
Should have taken the over.
That's indeedy.
Ryan Garco has grounded out and singled. In the 4th inning, he hit one that short hopped the wall and left, and on trying to stretch it to a double, he was thrown out by David DeJesus.
So far this year, Zach Greinke in 7 games against the AL Central is 5-0 and an ERA of 106. He hasn't done anything to hurt that to this point. Going into the 7th, has given up just the 1 run. He has walked 2, struck out 5, but has really, minimized the opportunities here for the Indians offense. There you see the line, 87 pitches. And as I told you before, out of his 12 starts, 11 of them he's gone over 100 pitches in it. And there's the leadoff base hit.
And that is a rarity right there. That is only the 4th hit allowed by Zach Greinke in the 7th inning of a ball game this year. The opposition had been 3 for 27 against him in the 7th inning this year.
He got on top of a good fastball. Look at Greinke shaking his head. Maybe got too much of the plate, but Garko gets on top of it because he saw him lay off that slider away and did a nice job. He says, I'm going to blow one by him upstairs, and Garko was able to get on top of it.
And we're going to get Josh Barfield now to pinch run for Ryan Garko at first base. So a little speed on the bases here. That's the tying run. Chris Jimenez 0 for 2 steps in. He's trying to bunt him over, but bunted it foul, first base side.
Well, you see what he does, too. Figuring it's a bunt situation, he runs one in. I mean, way in on him. When you're facing a tough pitcher, any tough pitcher, and you have to bunt in a situation like this, the one thing you have to do is make sure you bunt a strike. Because these guys will throw either something up in the zone to try and get you to pop it up on a high fastball, or they'll try and run something in. Just make sure you get a strike. That makes it maybe a little bit easier.
Bunts it back toward the mound. Greinke's going to go to second, get the out there, and he's safe at first on the relay.
He wasn't going to get him this time. Remember earlier in the game on the bunt, he wanted to go to third base after the leadoff double to Valbuena. He was going to go ahead and get the lead runner. I mean, Jimenez gets it down just a little too hard. Look at Greinke on it like a cat. And they turn it. And it was bang, bang at first. He's called safe, so they get the force out at second.
It brings up Luis Valbuena, who doubled to left center his first time up tonight. Then robbed of a hit his last time up on a bunt down the third base side. And now Coco Crisp, the center fielder, he's all the way over into left center field, trying to take that opposite field alley away from Valbuena, which is where he hit it in his first time up. So there's a huge gap in right center. There's got to be close to 100 yards between Coco Crisp and Jose Guillen.
There's no way that he's going to let him go ahead and pull that ball. Everything that's going to be fastballs away or that breaking ball will be in on his fist. You see that? He's just going to power him away. He's not going to be able to turn on that ball to hit it to right center field. And the reason why Guillen stays where he's at is because in case he makes a mistake with a breaking ball. But he won't throw him one of those real slow ones. He will throw that slider in or down and in on him where he's going to have to swing over it.
Jimenez held at first by Butler. And that's outside, 2-1. Valbuena has been noted for the extra base hit this year. 8 doubles and a homer among his 15 hits on the year.
Greinke this year against number 8 hitters, a 212 batting average. Number 9 hitters, a 138 batting average. That's what he's facing right here. There's that slider down and in.
And that is out number 2.
Well, the Progressive Field Party Suites are perfect for entertaining clients or hosting a family celebration. You'll enjoy premium service, food, and beverages. Call 216-420-HITS.
Here is Trevor Crowe batting 9th. He has sacrificed a runner to second base, and he has grounded out. On the bench for the Indians, Kelly Shopick, Jamie Carroll, and Travis Hafner.
That's who I would think in this situation would be a Travis Hafner sighting. Late in the ball game.
A called strike. 1-1 to count. Tying run at first base here with 2 down in the bottom of the 7th inning. .97 pitches now on the night for Greinke. And the count is now 1-2. You talked earlier about Greinke, how many times he's gone over 100 pitches this year. It'll be interesting to see if they try to squeeze another inning out of him here tonight if he gets out of this relatively quickly.
You know, he may want to. You got the top 3 guys. He's got to get this out first, and you got to see, and this will be pitch number 100 for him right here. Greinke has gone as many as 116, 115, 114, 111. Those are tops.
And the 1-2 pitch to Crowe is outside. Evens it up at 2-2.
The way their bullpen is pitched against the Indians and the way the Indians scored in the 7th, I would think you may see them for one more inning.
The 2-2 is lined down the left field line. Chasing over and making the catch is David DeJesus to end the inning. 7 complete from Progressive Field.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
It's a 2-1 Kansas City lead as we go to the 8th inning here at Progressive Field, and Greg Aquino is coming back out for a 3rd inning of relief work. 2 scoreless innings for Aquino. He's allowed 1 hit. He has struck out 3 and walked 1. He'll face Alberto Callaspo, Brian Pena, and Miguel Olivo here in the 8th. Rafael Perez begins to loosen for the Tribe. This scoreboard update brought to you by Coors Light. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Swing and a miss, 1-1 to count. Big bouncer to first. Jimenez is there, and he'll tag the bag 1 away. For official Sports Time Ohio merchandise, log on to stostuff.com. An STO hat available, and all bets are off t-shirt, and a talking Bruce Drennan bottle opener for you. All available for purchase at stostuff.com. Zach Greinke's no stranger to pitching in low-scoring close games. He won his first start of the year in a 2-0 affair against Chicago. He won a start against the Indians. 4-2 was the final on that one. Beat Texas 2-0. He also had a win against Chicago in a 3-0 game. He lost a 1-0 decision to the Angels out in Anaheim.
That was his first loss of the year.
It was.
Yes, it was. Joe Saunders and the Angels got him. They scored 1 run early, and it stood up.
Up high. 2 balls and a strike. There is activity in the bullpen for Kansas City. So I'll be curious to see if Greinke comes back out or if they feel they can trust it to their bullpen for the last 2 innings.
Let's see. John Bale's up getting loose. You've got Francisco De Rosa Martinez. He's maybe throwing for Chu. I don't know. I take my chances with Greinke. 1 run ball game.
There's Rafael Perez loosening for the Tribe. He's up not so much for matchups, but just in case Aquino maybe runs out of gas here. And this is 3rd inning of relief work. Or should Trey Hillman go to his bench because he's got both Tien and Jacobs, left-handed hitters, on that bench. So that's one way for Eric Wedge to keep those guys on the bench, to have Rafael Perez loosening. The old game within the game.
Well, you got to have somebody ready. You're right. He's going out there for the 3rd inning. You never know. Things happen quickly.
Struck him out looking, and that's 4 punch-outs for Greg Aquino. 2 down.
Well, you can spend Father's Day with Dad right here at Progressive Field. You can enjoy a delicious buffet from the Club Lounge and watch the Indians take on the Cubs from Wrigley Field on the giant scoreboard here, and then play catch in the outfield. Purchase tickets for a one-of-a-kind Father's Day at Indians.com.
Miguel Olivo is 0 for 3 tonight. And he looks at a fastball for a strike. just missed with that pitch. 1-1.
Uh-oh.
There's a high fly ball, deep left field, and she is gone. Onto the home run porch for Miguel Olivo, his second home run in the series. And boy, is that a big one, as it gives Kansas City a little breathing room. An extra insurance run makes it a 3-1 ball game. Olivo's 8th home run of the year.
That is a big one. 2 outs. It's a fastball, middle of the plate. It's up. And he jumps on it. He's a dead fastball hitter, and he didn't miss it. Olivo with a home run in yesterday's ball game. And that is an insurance run for him.
Fly ball to right field will end the inning. But it's now 3-1 Kansas City. Two and 2/3 scoreless innings before Miguel Olivo took him out for a solo homer. And it's now 3-1 Kansas City. Mitch Meyer comes in to play right field. Jose Guillen's night is over. Ben Francisco leading off against Zach Greinke, who stays out here to work the 8th. Over 100 pitches now on the night. And that evens the count at 1-1.
Oh,
wicked breaking ball, 69 miles an hour.
After you're sitting there looking at 92 to 94, all of a sudden he drops one in just above the speed limit.
100 pitches into the ball game.
Well, he's got a feel for it now.
Able to lay off 2-2. Only run for the Indians came back in the 3rd on a 2-out RBI single by Victor Martinez. There's a liner towards center. Coco Crisp comes in to make the catch, 1 away. Cleveland Indians Charity Celebrity Golf Classic comes your way Monday, August 3rd at Quail Hollow. Golf breakfast, lunch, and a post-golf cocktail party await you. Details, call 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com/golf. Mark DeRosa takes a strike. DeRosa has walked twice and singled tonight. He's been on base safely all 3 times against Greinke. And now he's in an 0-2 hole. The Royal right-hander deals. He tried that slow hook again, but he didn't quite have the grip on that one. Two and two. And the 2-2 pitch is a fastball that's lined into left center field. DeRosa's got one. He'll make a big turn, but Coco Crisp cut it off well. And he holds DeRosa to a one-out single.
Tell you what, Mark DeRosa's had a good night against a tough right-hander.
Absolutely.
He's 2 for 2. He's walked twice. He did a nice job of staying alive. He was down in the count 0-2. And then Greinke is going to get a little too much of the plate, and he jumps all over it right there. Hustling, thinking for 2. But you cannot go there. They added another run. You're down 2 runs, but that'll at least get that tying run coming to the plate now.
And here is Victor Martinez, 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Zach Greinke went the first 2 months of the season without allowing a home run before giving up 2 in his last start at the Rogers Center in Toronto.
Yep, it was Lyle Overbay. Took him deep in the second inning. He had a 111 inning streak going. And the Royals record for that is 134 and a third innings done by the big right-hander. Remember Mark Gubiza?
Yes, sir.
That was done from September 21st in '88 to June 7th, '89, and he was a big, tall, hard-throwing sinker baller. Had electric stuff.
Well, it was the longest streak in the majors since 1997, when Kevin Brown won 118 innings over the end of the '96 season into the '97 campaign. Missed inside, and now Victor Martinez in a pretty good spot, 2-1 the count.
Well, the last 3 guys have hit Greinke pretty hard. When you think about Trevor Crowe ending the 7th, Francisco leading off the 8th, and then DeRosa. So maybe he's running out of gas, and the pitches are getting upstairs a little bit.
Down low, 3-1. They got their closer, Joakim Soria, already loosening here in the 8th inning. This pitch will equal a season high for Zach Greinke, number 116 on the night. Full count. No, ball 4. 2 on, 1 out. So DeRosa down to second, tying run down to first, and Trey Hillman headed to the mound.
Bring the
That's going to
left-hander
be
in.
it. 116 pitches equals his season high, and Greinke will have to hope the bullpen can hold it for him here tonight. Game's now out of his hands as Greinke goes 7 1/3 innings here this evening. We've got a timeout. We're coming back. Tribe down 3-1. 3-1 our score. Royals on top, but the Indians have the tying run at first. Go ahead run at the plate with one out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Shin-Soo Choo will be the batter. Left-hander John Bale will be the pitcher. Choo is a much better hitter against right-handed pitching, but
I'll tell you what,
he's got to be happy that he's not facing Zach Greinke, who struck him out 3 times tonight.
I was going to say he's happy to see anybody besides Greinke, because the Kansas City bullpen on Tuesday night when they came back, they had 6 inherited runners, and they all came around to score in that game, and Bale was in that ball game. 3 came around to score. So there's 2 on there now. He's coming on maybe just for 1 hitter here in Shin-Soo Choo, because we did see where Soria was up getting loose, and he could bring Soria in for maybe a 4-out save with Peralta on deck if Bale can get this out. But Choo, boy, it was against Greinke. He saw 13 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 swings and misses. So he's happy to have anybody else in there.
Ground ball to first. Butler goes to second for 1. The relay not in time. Ball gets away. The Indians are going to get a run. Coming home from third to score is DeRosa. And now going down to second base is Choo.
Boy, oh boy, how about that? In a 1-run game, they're throwing the ball around like that. First of all, they should have never tried for the double play. You get the out and you hold the ball. But they tried to turn the double play, and that's with the pitcher covering. So it's a tough play for him to get to first base and try and cover. And then in turn, once the ball gets by him, you got to give an error because DeRosa comes around to score. That gives him the second run, and then Choo goes into scoring position. Bad defense. There's the play. That's the pitcher, mind you. So just hold the ball. Now there you throw home. Why do you throw home? The tying run's on first base. You keep that out of scoring position. There's no reason to try and go home with DeRosa. And again, that's what hurt the Royals the other night was their defense, and they got to go to their closer here in this situation.
So another timeout here at Progressive. Well, you've got the tying run now in scoring position with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Johnny Peralta's the batter, 0 for 3 tonight. Joakim Soria, the Royals closer, is on in relief. He's a perfect 7 for 7 in save situations.
Here's another guy that he comes in, and you better be ready from that first pitch fastball because that's what you're usually going to get, usually for a strike. When he gets ahead of you, he's got another tantalizing curveball.
Peralta 3 for 11 in his career against Joakim Soria. Lays off 1-1.
A guy that spent some time on the DL, and that's one thing Kansas City could not afford. You know, when you're playing with that lineup, you need all your horses.
Johnny with a high fly ball. Deep left field to Jesus, back to the wall. It is off the fence. Coming home to score the tying run is Chu. Into second base with the go-ahead run is Johnny Peralta.
Johnny got the hanging curveball and did some damage. So now Zach Greinke, no decision. Nothing to show. You give him all 3 runs. Peralta with that ball, boy, oh boy, I thought he got enough to go out, Matt. I don't know if the wind had anything to do with it. Look at that hanging curveball. That was the first one he threw, and normally that's a really slow pitch. It is down in the zone. Peralta tattoos it just under the line, or the Indians would have had a 1-run lead.
And as it stands, we'll get a pinch hitter now, as Jamie Carroll will pinch hit here for Josh Barfield. Or I should say for Josh Barfield.
You're right, for Barfield. Well, if you're Jamie Carroll, and he rarely, if ever, swings at the first pitch. But you better be ready for a good fastball on the first pitch.
And what that tells you is that Travis Hafner is definitely not available tonight.
Well, even if he was, and you put him up in that situation, you walk him. But there's Hafner on the bench. I don't even know if he's got a jersey on.
Carroll fouls it out of play.
But, that's the unfortunate thing when you bring Hafner back and he's ready to play. And if you can't play him, then you're playing short at times with 24 guys. Well, if you can't pinch hit for him or pinch hit him in a situation.
Carroll down on the count 0-2 here, as the Indians trying to rally here and take the lead. Outside, 1-2 the count.
See, he doesn't have a feel for that curveball yet, and that's a very important pitch for him. Hung one to Peralta, who hit it a ton, and you can see this time he wasn't going to throw it for a strike. He's trying to get a feel for it, and there's the pitch you'll see in the 9th.
And the 1-2 pitch. Low, 2-2. Kerry Wood's coming on, whether it's a tie game or the Indians have the lead, one way or the other. He'll be in here in the 9th inning. Jamie Carroll is hoping that Wood is coming on for a save, trying to deliver against Joakim Soria, who has suffered his first blown save of the year. And Zach Greinke with a no decision. 2-2 pitch. High pop. Left field to Jesus is there. And the inning is over. We'll go to the 9th here in Cleveland. Now tied at 3. Well, only by about 1.5 feet are we still tied here in the 9th inning. That's how close Johnny Peralta came to hitting it out of here. But his RBI double did tie the game. And now Kerry Wood will try to keep it a tie game and give the Indians a chance in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Now for Kerry Wood, his 300th career appearance.
He'll face a pinch hitter here. It'll be Luis Hernandez. Luis Hernandez, a switch hitter. You see his numbers on the year. And we followed by David DeJesus and Coco Crisp here in the 9th for Kansas City.
So again, the Indians are able to do what they've done to the Royals to this point, and that's after the 7th inning, get on the board when they put 2 on in the 8th. Over half their runs this year coming from the 7th inning on.
The 1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. And that's in there, 2-1. Hernandez made his first appearance on this Royals road trip in last night's game. Came in the 6th inning, flew out in his only at bat. You know, Rick, you think about it. 2 nights ago, it was the Royals defense that opened the door for the Indians. And again, here tonight in that 8th inning, committing 2 errors on the same play.
Right. To let that tying run get into scoring position, although the runs will be earned because of the double by Peralta.
But still, it's almost, even though they are earned runs, it's that cumulative effect thing and the way the momentum can turn.
Well, exactly right. They should have held the ball at second base and not try and turn the double play was the first mistake. And then they added to that by trying to throw home and get DeRosa after his run didn't mean anything, really.
Three balls, 2 strikes to count. You know, Kerry Wood does not want to put the leadoff man aboard here to start the 9th inning. Coming right at him, and he blew him away with a heat. 1 down. Let's check the results of tonight's All-Tel text poll question of the game. Who's been the most pleasant surprise for our viewers? Luis Valbuena, who has played an inspired second base. Offensively, he's a work in progress. But, Rick, when you see a guy who's had as many extra base hits out of his cumulative total, what does that tell you? That eventually, you know, he'll hit for a little better average? I mean,
well, you hope he does. It tells me he swings hard. He's got to, you know, he tries to, and he drives the ball, but he may be early in his career susceptible to a strikeout, but you can work with that. No, he's been fine. He's been fine. He's just going to have to, he tried bunting tonight. They made a great play on him.
Point being, I guess, he doesn't look like he's no Punch and Judy.
No, he doesn't look overmatched. Let's put it that way. You know, some guys come up here and you knock the bat out of their hands. You certainly can't do that to him because he takes a nice, healthy cut.
The 0-1 is popped and foul out of play. David DeJesus has 2 hits on the night, including an RBI and a run scored. Down on the count, 0-2 here. Indians had the early lead 1-0. Kansas City with 2 in the 5th and then 1 in the 8th to make it 3-1 before the Indians came back with a 2 spot to tie it. Boy, that pitch did not miss by much.
Looked like a little slider on the outside part of the plate. Little cutter or something that comes back in. That's a pretty good pitch. You better swing at the next one.
I was going to say the same thing. The 1-2. Hit pretty well to right. There's Chu, and he makes the grab. 2 away.
Well, Saturday, the Cardinals will be in town. It's going to be a special start time at 4:10. This is going to be network weekend here for the Tribe, and all the fans are going to receive a Shin-Soo Choo bobblehead. And then after the ball game, if you choose to stay, you can watch the movie Major League out on the scoreboard. Going back to the 80s.
That's right.
This weekend. Fireworks show will have the theme music to the 80s.
You know, it's funny. I don't think Chu knows what to make of that whole bobblehead deal.
Well, he probably wasn't even born in the 80s, was he?
He was born in 1982, so he didn't really experience the 80s like you and I. I asked him today, I said, what do you think of that bobblehead? And he said, I don't know. I'm not sure.
So in other words, he didn't give his approval for that white suit or the shades on his head.
I think that's what kind of caught him off guard. He's probably thinking, where's my glove? Where's my bat? What is disco?
Yeah, you get your first bobblehead, and it's an 80s version. Would have been nice if it would have been in diapers.
There's a strike called, and it's 2-2. Coco Crisp, pair of singles, stolen bag tonight. Kerry Wood trying to mow him down 1-2-3 here in the ninth. And the 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth, tied at 3. Going to the bottom of the ninth inning, tied at 3. Chris Jimenez will lead it off for the Tribe. There's Hernandez, who stays in at shortstop. Soria stays on to pitch for the Royals. Jimenez 0 for 3 tonight. High fly ball, center field. Coco Crisp is there. 1 away. And we'll bring up Luis Valbuena. Valbuena tonight has doubled and scored, robbed of a hit in the 5th inning when he tried to bunt his way aboard and struck out in the 7th. Soria's pitch up high, ball 1. Joakim Soria came on in the 8th inning and gave up the game-tying double to Johnny Peralta. Suffering his first blown save of the year. I mean, this is amazing. The Royals bullpen has had 8 inherited runners in this series, and all 8 have scored. That'll make a manager gun shy in a hurry.
Yes, it will. I mean, again, though, he chose to go out and start Greinke in that 8th inning. You know, and he took him out with a couple of runners on. So, I mean, he chose to do that. So, you know, sometimes you like to start those relievers with nobody else on.
Northern Ohio, Buick, Pontiac, GMC performance of the game goes to Peralta with that game-tying ribby. And also a career-high 9 assists. So the winning run is at first base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Trevor Crowe, 0 for 2, will be the batter. Crowe robbed of a hit his last time up on a terrific running catch by David DeJesus down the left field line. Swung on and missed. 0-1.
Be alive for a curveball in the dirt.
Crowe in the air to right field. Routine for Meyer. 2 down. That'll bring up Ben Francisco, who is 0 for 4 tonight. He has fouled out twice, and he has flied out twice. He is 2 for 13 in the series, and just 4 for his last 29 overall. Trying to be the hero here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Another throw to first base. Valbuena really not a base stealing threat. Francisco couldn't help himself. 0-1. We're in the bottom of the 9th here in Cleveland. Tied at 3. Winning run at first base. Valbuena held on by Butler. Joakim Soria with the 0-1. Missed inside. No, a called strike. A little delay call by Eric Cooper, and it's 0-2.
Well, it looked like a delayed call, and that was a fastball. He came right at him, but he was not going to give Benny any swinging room with the fastball.
It did not look like a strike.
Well, I know. He got the call, so he can go now with that off-speed. Or, you know, a lot of teams try to get Ben out with the off-speed pitches, the breaking balls.
The 0-2 is up high. Now 1-2 pitch way outside, evens the count now, 2-2.
You know, you can see Soria out there that he's pretty much pitching with his fastball. He's trying to get that breaking ball over, just hasn't had a feel for it or command of it whatsoever.
High pop, foul, and into the seats. As the Gulls continue to flock.
Boy, they are all over the place.
There's a whole gaggle of them in the outfield just sitting on the grass, too, in shallow center field.
Well, they moved over with 2 strikes. That's where they're positioning. That's what the scouting report said.
Trying to take away the opposite field hit. Winning run at first base in Luis Valbuena. 2 down in the bottom of the ninth, and a 2-2 count. And a swing and a miss, and the inning is over. We've got extra innings here in Cleveland. Extra innings. We go to the 10th. New pitcher for the Tribe after Kerry Wood worked a 1-2-3 ninth.
Matt Hurd just coming on for the 12th time, a 1-0 record, a fine 1.08 ERA. Coming on to face Butler, Guillen, Cayespo. No, Guillen's out of the game. I take that back. Meyer.
Billy Butler tonight has singled, walked, grounded out twice, and he has 1 run batted in. The 1-1. A smash into left field for Billy Butler. His second hit tonight, and the Royals get the leadoff man aboard here in the 10th inning. And we're going to get a pinch runner. It looks like it's going to be Mark Teahan.
Well, he waited on that ball coming in, a little two-seamer coming in, and drilled it in the hole. That is hit number 9 for the Royals. And Teahan pinch running.
Mark Teahan has 2 stolen bases on the year. But the bottom line here is they just want some better wheels.
Right. Somebody that can score on a ball that is either hitting the gap or if they choose to move them over here. Indians tried that back in the, what was it, the 7th inning. They wanted to bunt somebody over. They pinch ran and did not work out.
DeRosa in on the grass at third. Meyer squares around. Tries to bunt it, fouls it off. 1-1. Again, he squares, pops it up, and it's caught by DeRosa. And Teahan goes back to first. DeRosa and Victor Martinez very nearly collided on the play.
Well, DeRosa had to hop out of the way of Martinez, his mask, and the hitter. I mean, it was a 3-step process there. He's coming in. Victor comes out. Get away from Victor. Here comes the mask. Here comes the player. It's 3 different things. He had a bat there.
Oh, the umpire. I see, yeah. Eric Cooper was right in his way, too. But he takes care of business. Indians, by the way, are 1-2 on the year in extra inning games. The Royals 2-0. A win on the road and a win at home in extra innings for Kansas City. Well, the Indians have lost their only extra inning affair at home this year. And they've split 2 on the road. And a called strike to Alberto Callaspo, the switch hitter, who is 1 for 4 tonight. I don't remember. It was a couple years ago. It seemed like the Indians played an extra inning game almost once a week. Just one of those years. Throws over, but back with a dive safely was Teahan. Runner goes, and the pitch fouled away.
Yeah, playing a little action ball here. Start the runner. He knows one thing. Callaspo likes to swing the bat and try and put the ball in play, so you're not afraid to start your runner and afraid of him swinging and missing.
It was 2007, Rick. There were 19 extra inning games that year. And that obviously was the year the Indians went to the American League Championship Series. They were 11-8.
That's when you have that good bullpen and you win a lot of games late.
Missed, not by much. 2-2 the count. Callaspo extended his hitting streak to 5 in a row earlier in the ballgame. Right now, Matt Hergis trying to take care of him right here. Fouls it away. Tampa Bay putting a hurting on the Angels tonight. 11-1 in the bottom of the 8th down in St. Pete. Yankees lead the Red Sox at Fenway 3-1. They're also in the bottom of the 8th inning.
CC still pitching in that ball game.
Texas on top of Toronto 1-0. They're in the 8th inning down in Arlington. If you missed it earlier, White Sox beat the Tigers 4-3. Bobby Jenks wound up the winner after he blew the save. Oakland edged Minnesota 4-3. Minnesota was trying to get back to the 500 mark today with a win, but came up a run short. Runner at first with one out here. And a 2-2 count on Alberto Calespo. And a liner towards center. Trevor Crowe lost his footing for a moment, but regained it and made the catch. Just for a moment, I could see his feet coming out from underneath him and going down. But he was able to maintain and make the catch.
Well, you can see he was waiting back on that ball before he has to break and come in.
Two away now for Brian Pena. He's 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. Mark Teahen, the pinch runner, at first base. One hopper to short. Peralta will go the long way, and he has a new career high in assists. We'll go to the bottom of the 10th. Tied at 3. Let's show you the changes now for Kansas City. Willie Bloomquist goes across the diamond from third over to first, and Mark Teahen, who came on to pinch run, is now in at third base. And the Royals also go back to the bullpen. Kyle Farnsworth will be the 4th different Royal to work tonight. For Farnsworth, it's the 23rd appearance of the year. Big power arm right-hander. When he is on, he's very tough. But he just hasn't ever been able to find a real good level of consistency.
He's been one of those guys where he always finds a way to give it up, it seems like. Doesn't matter where he's at. He's got an outstanding arm. He's got a very good slider. He's got good movement. He throws in the mid-90s. But for some strange reason, the guy finds a way to give it up. And this is the Indians' opportunity. You're going 2, 3, 4 in the lineup.
Mark DeRosa's had a great night. 2 singles, 2 walks. He scored a run. And I say great because when you're facing Zach Greinke and you're on 4 times safely, that's a great night.
Yes, it is. You're darn right it is.
That'd be one for Tommy Bowe to look up. I wonder if anybody's been on base safely in 4 at-bats against Greinke this year.
He's looking at you. He's looking at you saying, "I'm not going through those daily stats, Matt. You can do it on your own."
His eyes crossed when he looked at me.
He gave it one of these. No.
He went, huh?
He said, "Get your computer out when you go home.
He
You're
said,
on
"You
your
look
own."
it up." Here's Mark DeRosa taking a strike, 2-2.
Tommy doesn't care.
Oh, yes, he does.
No, he does not. He doesn't care. He's got other numbers he's got to crunch.
DeRosa's 4 for 8 in the series. Indians trying to get that leadoff man aboard. Just missed outside, full count. Indians have had their leadoff man aboard 3 times tonight. Only 1 time have they pushed him across. That came back in the 3rd. Payoff pitch. Fouled away. DeRosa led off the 6th inning when he reached on a walk. And trying to lead off the 10th by keeping his streak alive of reaching safely in all 5 plate appearances. Back up the middle, and it's into center field, his 3rd hit of the night, and he is aboard safely for the 5th time tonight.
Boy, battle, battle, battle. You put it in play, it finds a hole. Starting to heat up. That average is going to start to climb when you start. Look at that. Got the fastball finally. It was basically sliders in that at-bat. Got enough of it to get it up the middle. 8 hits now. And DeRosa has 3 of them.
And Victor Martinez has one of those hits. He drove in a run in the 3rd inning with a single. He'll need an extra base hit to try and score DeRosa here, but that Royals outfield is very deep. And Martinez takes the first pitch strike. Victor does have a home run in 3 of his last 9 games. Outside, 1-1. DeRosa back with the dive on the throw over. And the 1-1 pitch in the dirt. Good stop by Miguel Olivo. Well, if you're Kansas City right now, you're saying to yourself, it's been a miserable 10-day, 9-game road trip, and we're finishing it up with extra innings.
Yeah, well, they're also saying, hey, we want to finish it up with a win here and win the series. You know, because if they can do that, they remain out of last place. If the Indians can win, they'll jump back ahead of Kansas City by a half a game. And they can head home, and they're going to play the other ball club from Ohio tomorrow, the Reds, at home.
Oh, boy. Farnsworth missed, and it's 3-1. Martinez in a great situation here with Shin-Soo Choo waiting on deck. 3-1 pitch. And a strike called, full count.
Well, now you can start your runner. Full count with Victor hitting. You feel he's going to put the ball in play. That'll give DeRosa a head start here with nobody out.
Looks like a light rain starting to fall here in Cleveland.
Yes, indeed.
Perfect.
It's been away all day.
DeRosa takes his lead. He's gone. Up high, ball 4. Winning run to second base. Martinez down to first. And now Shin-Soo Choo will be the batter. Choo is 0 for 4 tonight with 3 strikeouts. 0 for 9 in the series. But one big hit right here would erase all that for Choo. And here comes Bob McClure, the pitching coach, out to talk with Farnsworth, who's worked himself into a jam here in the 10th inning.
Well, they're sitting out there talking situations, and, you know, I don't see Choo bunting here. Let's win the ball game. You got Peralta on deck.
Shin-Soo Choo, now that the meeting is over, will climb in to face the hard-throwing Farnsworth. With Mark DeRosa, the winning run at second base. In the dirt, and Levo with a nice stop. Farnsworth peers in. And the 1-0 is a line drive base hit center field. Coming around third, DeRosa's going to win the ball game. It got by Crisp. Maybe the Birds distracted him. And the Indians win it and take the series 2 out of 3. It's a walk-off win for the Tribe in the bottom of the 10th. On a base hit to center field by Shin-Soo Choo. His first hit in the series, and it's a game winner. Boy. I don't know that Chris would have had a shot to throw him out at home plate, Rick, but when he went for the ball, the Birds scattered, and it may have distracted him.
Well, I'll tell you, it was a bullet, and there you see up the middle. Here's the Birds. They fly out of the way. It got a bird. That ball hit the bird, and it went down. It deflected him, so it did. The Birds are out here. It hits a bird. He goes down for the count. How about that?
This one's for the Birds. And the Indians win it by a final score tonight of 4-3. How do you like that?
He's still resting in the outfield. He may have to go on the DL tomorrow.
He's wounded.
But I'll tell you what, that was good timing.
Give the Bird a Purple Heart for the Indians. 4-3 Tribal winner. Time now for the key play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank, banking home of the Cleveland Indians.
Well, 8th inning, and they bring in their closer. And Johnny Peralta is going to come up and pick on a hanging curve ball, and this ball just missed going out. And it is going to hit below the line, but it does drive in the tying run, and that's why we went into extra innings, and the Indians had a chance to win the ball game.
Key play of the game brought to you by KeyBank, proud to call Cleveland home for 183 years. KeyBank helps local families and businesses to grow and supports area organizations and charities. Feel safe at home with KeyBank. We're coming back with a Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show right after